Hello, it's Nikki. I've got the big light on it and the heating on full blast. We're in winter here in London. And today I want to talk about sales. And I know the title of this is quite direct, as in, where are your sales coming from? But basically what I want to talk about is how and where is money coming into your business. Now, you don't have to tell me, you don't have to email me some kind of spreadsheet, but I would love you to take this question and to maybe carve out some time to really assess this, and also just be really aware as you make sales over the next couple of days, weeks, months, etc. And this has really come from a perspective of me realizing that I have been running my own gig for a really long time. And I think when you have been doing something for a long time, sometimes the temptation can be to feel like you have to do more or reinvent the wheel or keep things fresh and all of that. And yes, there is always an element of that. I want to be ahead of my game. I want to deliver excellence. I want to be the best that I can be, etc. But also, I never want to eliminate all the great things that are happening or have happened because of the things that I've done. And as I go into the new year, and I am stepping into whatever that brings, I'm really analysing my processes and what is happening. So I have a clear understanding rather than, I guess, blindly just going, oh, I don't know, we'll just throw some more spaghetti at the wall and see what happens. And also as well, I think I keep coming back to this sense of control the controllables, which is one of my mum's favourite phrases. And I love it when she says it. You know, if I'm spiralling or that makes me sound a bit chaotic, but I guess in terms of if I've got something that's in my head and I'm doing a roll of words and phrases of like, it's this and I don't know and you know, as we all do sometimes, she will always come back to this phrase of control the controllables. And I know many business owners, freelancers, self-employed people, etc., have really felt that things have been slightly unpredictable, a lot unpredictable, in good ways and bad during the pandemic. So there are certain things that may have sold really well that have never sold before, but suddenly there's that need or that desire or a change in circumstances. And equally, predictable things that you may have done for years and years suddenly don't work anymore, suddenly don't resonate, and you have to change them up and be nimble in that way. So the first thing that I would love you to do is to look at your sales, look at how money has come into your business. So I would love you, even though there might be some resistance, because I know years and years ago when I started doing this work, there was definitely resistance for me. I'd love you to take out your last 3 bank accounts, your last 3 months of bank accounts, and have a look. Have a look at that column where all the money is coming in. And look at those sales and look at what those are. So what programs or services, and really start to notice what were the really popular things, what sold really well, and really understand perhaps the patterns of behavior. The next thing I would love you to look at is to ask yourself what prompted that sale. So this might be a case of you looking at your bank account and you looking at, say, your social media activity or your email activity around that time, or however it is that you launch your business. So maybe you have a product-based business and you can look and see loads of sales because you did a market, or you know that in September you did a huge launch and therefore that was reflected in what you were selling. So I want you to notice what prompted that. Was it a launch? Was it increased visibility? Was it an ease? Did you suddenly change something on your website, or did some new piece of technology come in that people started purchasing things? So did you tweak something? Did something happen? Again, it's really important to analyze this. The third thing I want to look at is what was the language of the money, of the client, the customer, the piece of work, the project saying yes? This is really, really good as a reminder, first and foremost, because sometimes if things are slow, you might suddenly jump into a moment of thinking, oh my goodness, I'm never going to work again, and it's really quiet, and is that it? Has my success run out, etc.? You know, we all are human beings, and I'm sure we've all had those feelings. I know that I have, certainly. But really, really listening to that person. So I also did a podcast episode about currency this week, all around money not being the only form of currency. Sometimes it's relieving anxiety. Sometimes it's excitement. Sometimes it comes from a slightly fearful place of, if I don't do it now, when will I do it? And can I really put this on the back burner for another year? Or there's all sorts of emotions that go along with that. And that is vital information for you. And it's really important that you listen to it. So I kind of do the opposite of, the big whiteboard when people are like doing tally charts of customers that they've got in, almost like they're just a line and that's it. Actually, they're not just a line. They're human beings who have probably worked really hard and dedicated their time and their efforts and their money to work with you. And that is such a privilege and an honor, and certainly not one that should be taken for granted. So I want you to also notice the language that came around that. And this might have been your first email interaction with somebody of, I know that this is my time, or I can't wait to get started, or I've been looking for this for a long time and you did this video and it really resonated in that way. Really pay attention to that. I've got two more things. I want you to go back and look at the experience of your sales, of your projects, and really be clear about what worked and what didn't, and where you're really feeling in flow with your business and excited about your business. I'm sorry, somebody started drilling out the back, but I'm 7 minutes in, so I'm going to persevere if that's okay. But really noticing the experience. And sometimes what can happen is when you do the analysis of your accounts and you do the analysis of your visibility, sometimes there's a mismatch there. So when we're talking about experience, sometimes I've done things and I've thought, gosh, that was a lot of work. That really felt like I was pushing something and really, pushing and shoving and not feeling in alignment. And I didn't get much from the end of it anyway. And that's not always financial. Sometimes it's just that energy. It's that feeling of going, wow, I worked really hard for that and I didn't quite get the results that I wanted. So notice those experiences. Again, this is about learning. This is about building on what comes to light and really, moving forward in a strong way. The final thing, which is something that I do every single year, is really analyze where I want to go from here in terms of my business and my sales and what I want to sell. Because as a freelancer, as a having a portfolio career, as a self-starter or a small business owner, however you refer to yourself, you always have that luxury and that excitement of starting a new year or quarter or whenever you decide and think, what do I want to sell? What do I want to create? Where do I go next? And one of the lessons that I've learned, and I've learned it many times because let's face it, many of us don't learn the lesson the first time. It literally has to kind of slap us around the chops and we get there eventually. Is to understand just because I can doesn't mean that I should. And this has been really interesting as I've progressed because I've definitely been a people pleaser. I've been somebody that's been willing to help, or I always want to be kind, or I want to do the right thing. And sometimes I've offered things or I've really put my focus into things because I understand maybe that there's a need there or it would be really useful, but then I don't get the sales or something is not responded to in the way that I thought. And so you really have to come back to that sense of alignment and really checking in with what feels good to you. And also, this is a difficult one for me because I am somebody who wants to cover lots of different elements all around having a portfolio career. But I know there would be some experts that be like, Nikki, you've got too many things for sale. You just do one thing, sell one course, and that's it. But to me, that doesn't feel expansive. To me, I never want to get into that situation where it just becomes a bit mundane and it just becomes a bit routine-like, I guess. I love that sense of really listening to people and helping people with where they're at. I'm not looking, I guess, for a formula business in that way where I just do that. But also, it is a opportunity always to check in and ask myself, what do I want to sell and what do I need to remove? Because especially if something is not making sales or it's not earning its place on your website, then it may need to go. Because what's happening is if it's not earning its place and if it's not being responded to, it's taking up space. And it's getting in the way of the stuff that really works. So see how that feels. See if there's anything that you need to take off your plate, that you need to draw a line under and say, do you know what? No more. I'm not going to sell that anymore. And see also how that feels. In terms of next steps, I have a freebie, which is all around signs that it might be time to increase your prices. That could be really useful. And the second thing I would love you to look at is my pricing and packaging course. Now, there's two versions of this. You can do a standalone version of this where you just purchase the course and you go through it and it will really give you in detail and this is not like if you are a service-based business then you need to be doing X, Y, and Z. It's a framework for you to play within and to really analyze what's going to work for you, your life, your circumstances, your goals, etc. Also, you can add on a one-on-one with that as well as an alternative, as an addition. So do check out the links in the description box and let me know what you think. Let me know where you need help as well. Also, if you want to book in for some one-on-one time, you can book in a free 15-minute session and I'll send you my link and we can have a chat and go from there. All right, I hope this has been useful. If it has, please share it. Please send it to a pal or like or comment. I would really appreciate that. All right, sending lots of love and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.